Good evening, everyone. It's Trisha from Impressive CV. I hope you can hear me all. Feel free to drop a comment if you're online, and I'll just wait a couple of minutes until other joiners start, and we'll start right on 7 p.m. Dubai time. Good evening, everyone. It's Trisha. Okay, so we might make a start. Welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time to be a part of this webinar. I really hope that you will get some valuable feedback from this session, especially in front or in light of recent conditions and the ongoing impacts of the coronavirus. There's certainly some economic downturns in terms of employment. It's not impossible, but definitely you need to start preparing yourself now so that when interviews are requested in the future that you are ready. So I guess the webinar is going to take around 30 to 40 minutes. I definitely welcome any comments in the live chat forum. You're welcome to drop me a message. But this is the agenda. I want to try and cover a couple of these topics on your screen. So I guess congratulations if you're requested for an interview. Many of you are still pending or the interviews are waiting to move forward. I guess now a lot of platforms are going to be going digital. So whether you are going to be the likes of YouTube, Skype, Teams, Microsoft Teams is a big one at the minute. But no matter what, it's never been easier for people to connect. So no matter where you are in the world, you're never more than just a few keystrokes away from being speaking someone face to face. And best of all, this technology isn't just friends looking to chat anymore. We've got many organizations using the power of digital technology to conduct interview sessions with job candidates. So today, or tonight I should say, I want to explore the two different types of video interviews that you may be called upon to take. One being a one-way video, or second being a live video. I really would suggest that phone interviews are not going to be happening as frequently as a video interview, just because employers really want to be seeing your face, seeing your personality. So I guess I want to prepare you for both methods. So one such method is a one-way interview, and what this means is that it's a pre-recorded set of questions from the interviewer. The interviewer cannot see you. So from a recruiter point of view, this is how it works. So before they decide to choose one-way interviews, they're able to brand the candidate experience using the company's logos, pictures, videos, and many more. A one-way video interview typically works such as this. So the interviewer comes up with a set of questions that they would like their candidates to ask. These questions are usually accompanied by some text or another video that's embedded in the program, and then they ask the job seeker to answer several questions via video. So they configure the interview with parameters such as the time limits, how long the answer should be taken, and then they upload the questions to the portal. So usually an ATS compliant CV is required when candidates are requested to upload their CV, and then the interviewer or the recruiter can then refer to the CV at the same time as they are listening to the voice that the job seeker has submitted. So you can usually do this on any type of device. It would be a laptop, an iPad, desktop, it doesn't matter so long as you have got the required software. So this is a one-way interview. Okay, so the second type of interview is a two-way face interview. This is generally more popular, and what this is, it's a live interview. So, for example, both candidates and the interviewer are live streamed, and it's a true, authentic conversation. So the applicant has the benefit of interfacing or interacting with the company representative, and it also increases the odds of employment compared to one way. Usually because you can develop a rapport with the interviewer. So it's really, really important that no matter what type of interview that you are having, that you do the research for the company beforehand. So even though if you think of a video, it means that you can skip the preparation or Googling or anything like this because you're simply not in the room with the interviewer. Unfortunately, you're totally wrong. You need to think again. You're still seen by the recruiter when you're in the video call. Sometimes they can even hear you typing. So make sure if you're doing like a quick sneaky Google chat or Google search that you keep this in mind. They'll know immediately that you're not paying attention or that you've come to the interview unprepared. So it's really important to still be strategic about where you have your interview. Make sure that you have got background noises minimized. Make sure that you have just got the perfect place. So do a trial run before so. The likes of posters, it can often be a distraction. For example, photos or inappropriate things in the room that the interviewer may see. It's really, really important that you're checking your internet connection and your ability to sign onto the platform whenever the interview will be hosted. The last thing you want to be dealing with is spotty or crappy Wi-Fi. It's really, really important that you're maintaining your professionalism. So just because you're not having the interview in the physical office, it doesn't mean that you can slack on your professionalism. So dress appropriately. Do everything the same as if you were having a face-to-face interview with the recruiter. It's just that you are actually at a digital one. So try not to read off your computer screen. It's really, really important that you are au fait or familiar with the company. Make sure that you have done a complete background search, whether that even includes LinkedIn profile searches, that you know information about the company, their mission statements, their keywords, so that you have this in front of you and that you can drop these words in whenever you are speaking with the recruiter face to face. You don't want to be doing a search at the same time that you're being interviewed. Oops. Okay, so now that we know the two different types of interviews, so just recapping, there is a one-way interview or there's two-way. There is a phone interview as well. However, I highly doubt that the companies will be starting to use phone interviews when there's so many digital platforms that are freely available. So definitely social distancing is a major impact to the current world, I guess, at the moment. So it's really, really important to be able to master the introduction of yourself. So it doesn't matter what platform you're using or whether you are even face-to-face, the introduction is one of the most important features or functions or components to the interview. So if you can master the way to introduce yourself, then I'm 90% confident that the rest of the interview will go more smoothly than if you didn't master this section. Okay, so it's really, really important. I know that digital interviews can be a little bit uncomfortable, but make sure that you practice. So join the meeting early. You can set up a test one, pretend that you are doing one with your friend. Make sure that the environment is appropriate. Make sure that you have got enough lighting. So you would do a test run for this. But in terms of making sure that you introduce yourself properly, set the camera up so that it is completely covering from your around your shoulders upwards. Make sure that your head's not being cut off. Smile and wait for the interviewer or the headhunter or recruiter. They should initiate the hello section or part to it. Just smile and wait till the camera is loaded, making sure that you are dressing appropriately. Just reply simply with a simple hello. Try not to cut the interviewer off. You want to make sure that they're running the dialect. You want to say thank you at the start for hosting the interview, and just always remember to pause. So sometimes there is a delay, so you want to be making sure that you're keeping your sentences short and waiting for a reply before you continue the rest of the sentence. It's still really, really important that you're keeping eye contact, so directly looking at the camera. If there's any questions so far, please just drop it in the comments. Okay, so just an overview, but it's really important to be enthusiastic. Make sure that you are accentuating or slightly exaggerating some facial features. Make sure that you have got posture organized, that your face or body, upper half of the body is completely within the camera. You can have a glass of water close by. It's okay to have a drink, and making sure that you have a nice clear voice when you're interviewing. Check all technicalities, making sure the environment is safe. If you're on a phone interview, again, it's probably rare, but ladies, just remember to be removing your earrings. Why? Because sometimes you'll hear that clatter, that clicking sound against the phone, which can be a little bit unprofessional. Again, no matter what type of interview, you should be researching the company itself. Okay. Okay, so probably one of the hardest questions that can be, I guess, difficult to think of or difficult to answer is, tell me a bit about yourself. Usually that's the first question that you'll be asked in any interview. Doesn't matter if it's digital or face-to-face. But many job aspirants fumble when they're asked this question. So it's really, really important to make sure that you elaborate on points that are relevant to the job description. Make sure that you are speaking the same points that are discussed on your resume. Otherwise, if you start rambling on pointlessly, not knowing what to emphasize upon, and start talking enthusiastically about your personal preferences or hobbies, you're not coming across as professional, or that you haven't prepared for the interview. So it gives quite a negative first impression. It's really, really important to make sure that you have read the job description and find out exactly what skills they are requesting of you and what type of prior experience, so that you can touch on these even in the tell me about yourself question. So keep it short, probably, maybe 10 to 20 seconds in a nutshell. Keep it a little bit casual, try not to be so scripted. You want to still touch on one or two major achievements that you have made in your professional career so far. Definitely you want to touch on skills. So again, refer to the job description, what jobs, even on the LinkedIn, sometimes they have listed, the 10 or 12 skills that they're desiring. You want to make sure that you can show the interviewer that you already have these, you're already possessing these skills. Then that makes it relevant to that application. So it's really, really important to come off as prepared. So think of these questions they're going to be asked you. Never lie about your weaknesses or lie to the interviewer itself. And it's really, really important not to be bad-mouthing your previous employer. So I guess I will just touch on briefly what are some common questions. I will read directly off the slide deck. So I guess you can probably see it actually, but definitely these are questions that are asked all the time. So tell me about a difficult situation that you had to face and what did you do to overcome it? Describe a situation where you were able to directly influence your company's bottom line. Can you tell me about a time you had to make a difficult strategic direction and win others in the process? So start practicing these common questions. You can definitely Google or jump on many different free guides and practice yourself with this. We touched on this slide, to be honest. They tell me a little bit about yourself. So I just want to reiterate that it's really important to make sure that you are taking your time when you answer these questions. So speak slowly and clearly, pause in between in case the interviewer has a question at that time. It's really important, again, to make sure that you understand what your strengths versus your weaknesses are, so that then you can start highlighting what strengths you've got that currently match the job description. It makes sure that you have been that you're a close fit. I'm just going to read out a couple of common questions that we have got in our interview guide here at Impressive CV. Feel free to take some notes, but these are definitely something that you should be able to answer very seamlessly. So where do you see yourself in 5 years? This is quite basic, probably a general or a junior role question. What are your strengths? What is your ideal work environment? Describe your work ethic. What do you know about our company, and how do you best see fit? Okay, so it's really important as well to be making sure that you know what your achievements are. So as time goes on, from even now in this little downtime, start documenting or start getting out your diary or your notepad and think about what you have done to make an impact on the company. Because you want to make sure that you can highlight what value you can bring to the company, and then even more important, the ability to articulate your achievements or your value in the interview. So a really good way is bring the job description with you, or have it in front of a laptop directly in front of your screen, or a little notepad next to you with keywords from the job description, and then turn it into past tense so that you can show that you have already done this before and therefore you're capable to do it in the future. So, for example, you want to make sure that you could describe something like this. My greatest accomplishment is exceeding an annual sales target by 18% as a result of significant key stakeholder engagement and action plans. Or, my greatest accomplishment is graduating in the top 3% of my class with over 2,000 students last year. I achieved a GPA of 3.88. So always make sure that you are using clear, measurable examples to articulate your value. I guess we've touched on this, but knowing your strengths and weaknesses, you want to always be making sure that you are explaining or providing an example of what strengths you have got, or even weakness. For example, explaining using the STAR method. So it's pretty common. Most interview guides or learning books talk about the STAR method, but it's the situation, the task, the action, and the result. So what that means is it's a structured method that shows, when you've got a competency-based interview, how you can overcome, or what you did to overcome the situation. So you're explaining the context and your role with the potential challenge that you or the organization were facing. The task refers to what specific task that you were given the responsibility for to help your company meet that challenge. Explain the action. So what steps did you decide to take and why? How were your actions received by the stakeholders and co-workers? And the result. This is probably one of the most important points to note. So what was the outcome of your actions? What difference did you make? And what did you learn as a result of the situation? Probably people forget this when they are interviewing, but it's really, really important to have a list of maybe 5 or 6 different accomplishments, maybe less, maybe 4 accomplishments up your sleeve, so that no matter what question you are asked, you can refer to this example and use the STAR method no matter what situation you were, or question you were asked. Okay, this just explains the STAR method itself, which we just covered in detail. Okay, so again, it's really important to be making sure that you're not reading right off the screen, that these answers come easily and flow very easily to you. The best way to achieve this is practice. So invest in an interview coach, or invest time with a friend, put the camera up in front of you and practice. If you come off prepared and speak clearly and articulately, and everything flows nicely on a video interview, the interviewers will definitely have more confidence that you can get the job done. Again, it's really important not to be talking too much. Always pause, wait a couple of seconds to see if the interviewer has got any questions or if they want to further clarify anything. Never ever badmouth your previous employer or boss, or any negative talk in a video interview especially. I mean, you probably wouldn't do this anyway, but it's just important to get the message across that you're a positive person as much as you can in a video interview. You can't backtrack things, remember, if it's all recorded. You want to make sure that Skype interview really counts. So as much as you can, research the company that you are applying for. So go onto their website, have a look at their financial statements, have a look at their LinkedIn, check it out, as much information that you can, their current or existing projects, maybe some gaps or some pitfalls that you can see, so that you can identify how you could assist that company moving forward if you were employed. It's really, really important to try and build a rapport right from the start. If you can grab that attention, if you can and if you can articulate your message as clearly as possible within the first 30 seconds, maybe even less, the interviewer will have a lot more confidence in your abilities. Try and shine. Put some tone into your voice. Keep it positive. Exaggerate some of your feelings. Make sure your camera is set up clearly. Do a sound test. You want to make sure everything runs as smoothly as possible. Okay, so that was it. I guess that's 30 minutes or 25 minutes up. I really hope that it was valuable. You did get some tips. It's just an overview. I definitely can help you one-on-one if you need. I've got multiple staff available. I definitely know digital interviews will be a hot topic, especially once the hiring freeze for many companies opens up. If you would like assistance with your resume, definitely make sure that it is ATS compliant. Anyone who has registered for this event receives a 20% off any package of your choice. And if you end up buying one interview coaching session, you'll get one free. So we can work closely one-on-one and make sure that you are 100% ready, make sure that you are impressive, and that you are the best possible candidate. So please feel free, drop some comments if you have any questions, and I would be more than happy to help you. I look forward to hearing your feedback.